Alright, we're going to go ahead and make the title block for the pegboard top. So we want to start out by creating a new DMS title block. Some of you are already at this point. Remember, I skipped this part. I am not going to fill all of this out right now. I'm going to do it later just so I don't spend all the time doing it during the video, okay? You can do the same if you'd like. Just make sure you get it filled out later. So, first thing I want to do is bring in my base view of this part, okay? And if I look back at the actual title block, remember, I want all my title blocks to look exactly like the example. So just notice the circles on the left, the squares on the right. That's kind of the way it's set up. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to click on base, and then I'm going to find my pegboard top. Once you've found that, then you can click open and you can see how this thing is oriented. Are you guys oriented in the proper direction? The hole on the left? If not, remember, you can go through these views up here and you can change that, okay? The scale on the example says 0.7. That's a pretty odd scale, and I think we did that just so it would be as big as it could be and still fit. So just in the sake of keeping things the same, I'm just going to type in a 0.7 right here on the scale. And then I'm going to left click, push straight up, left click, straight to the right, left click, straight down, left click, right click, create. Okay? I don't like how close that ended up, so I'm just going to come over here to the front view and move everything down and over a little bit, just to give myself a little bit more room. Okay? So just flipping back to the annotations, I'm going to start off with something new and then I'm going to start dimensioning. Notice in the middle of this circle there's some crosshairs here. That's a center point, and anytime you have a round part or a circle, because you dimension to the center of a circle, you want a center point in there. So if I switch over up here to annotate, where dimension and everything is, then I can click right over here on center mark. And then if I click on the circle, it'll put the crosshairs right there in the circle. Okay? Then if we look at the part, we just have a lot of basic dimensions, okay? So I'll start with all of these dimensions, and then we'll work on these other ones. I know that for dimension, I want to know how far it is from the edge to the center of the circle. I also want to know how far it is from the edge to the tip of the triangle. And notice how I just kind of stack those on top of each other. My dimensions right now are rounding to 2 decimal places. We made that 2.75, but it's showing up as 2.88. I may change that tolerance later, but I'm not going to worry about it now. Okay? Another dimension I had was the overall length. And notice how my dimensions are just going from smallest to biggest here, okay? And then the last one I had on the top was the distance from this side to the edge of the triangle, okay? What do you guys notice about that dimension? It's not correct, okay? So whenever I drew this version of the top, mine is wrong. Okay, yours is supposed to be 0.75. Not a big deal, I can fix that later. Okay, I've got the circle dimension left to right. I also need to make sure it's dimensioned from the top to the middle. Okay, and all of that is pretty good so far. Okay, I think I also had the thickness up here. So pretty much everything we've done so far, you have done before with the exception of the center point. But we also had only really done one dimension per view before, correct? So we're adding in a lot more information now, and sometimes it can get a little bit confusing, okay? I guess one other thing, I want the diameter of this circle, and I can do that just with my regular dimension tool by clicking on that. The other new thing that's on here is just some leader text. So if you look, it says 1 inch tall triangle and 1 inch square. Right up here, we would use a leader text. Okay, so I'm going to click on leader text. I'm going to click on the triangle, and then I'm going to come down at a slight angle. I'm going to left click, right click, continue, and then it's going to allow me to put my text in there. And all I said was 1 inch tall triangle. Very simple. Click OK, and it'll show up. I want to do leader text also for my square. I don't want my leader text to cross over the other text or the other leader text, okay? Leader line, excuse me. So I'm going to pull that down, left click, right click, continue, and I can type in that this is a 1 inch square. After my tool is deselected, I can grab these and move them if I want to flip them around or anything, just to give myself a little bit different space. Whatever makes sense for you, so you've got enough space to get everything done. Notice the one dimension that we are missing and that isn't on the title block was the dimension from here to here. We won't worry about that today. I would say that this is pretty good for dimensions, and I just want to make sure that I shade this one, my isometric view. I'm going to look up here at the example. What dimension did I forget? Anybody catch it? I didn't dimension the height. And I would say that's probably pretty complete. I would want to go back in and edit my title block here to put in my scale and all of that other information that I didn't put in earlier, but I'm just not going to do that for time's sake on the video. Okay? So hopefully that all makes sense, and you can go on and work on that.